All right, today's Saturday, September 17th, 2022, and we've been out here for a couple hours this morning working on 68. So what we did was we put the trunk back on because we had a little mishap with that. So we got that back on. We got the radiator support with the radiator and some spall fans. You want to elaborate on what you got here?
Yes, it's a E-Woods radiator, spall fans.
11-inch, you said?
They're 11-inch fans, dual fans. So they're rated for like 2,860, I believe, CFMs.
Okay.
2,900. So I think it'll get the job done.
And man, you stole this thing.
Yes. So right now, if you go onto their website, you go into Summit, you go into JEGS, you go onto Speedway, you know, they got the same radiator for 1,600. 1,600, right?
With the fans. So the whole setup.
The whole setup for 1,600, right? I got this on an eBay find off of Speedway's garage sale, right? And the reason they were selling this because it was discontinued, supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, if they're still selling it on their website, right? But anyways, they had it for $486 on eBay. Bought it, took a chance, took a gamble. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. So it's like,
Man.
it's too good to be true.
We'll see.
That's what the saying is.
We did have to notch it a little bit. We had to notch the way it mounts to the core support. We had to take a little bit off on the bottom there to make it fit, but that wasn't nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
We got new core support bushing, so man, this thing's
new.
really falling in place. Got good clearance. Looks good with the black. We went ahead and threw the fenders on because we still need to wet sand these. And they wobble around if you try and do them on a stand. So we kind of just threw them on there. They're not lined up, you know. They're not lined up. They're just bolted in place to be able to wet sand and buff, because I believe the trim goes on before the wheel wells. So we need to buff them first, put the trim on. We need to buff them, put the trim on, take them off, bolt the wheel wells to them, then put it on as one unit, buffed out.
And it was not fun taking them off, so.
Yeah. So we're scuffing the wheel wells, debating on what we're going to do with that. We're going to definitely paint the top sides yellow, and we're debating on the bottom. So all we're doing is, these are powder coated.
Yeah, powder
Powder coated gloss black, and all we're doing is red Scotch Brite, and go straight to some sealer here in the next week or so. So coming together pretty good. After lunch here, we're going to put the antennas on. We're going to start putting some side molding, little knickknacks that take time. You can't rush it, but we're trying to condense everything here, get some space back. We still got the hood over there. It's curing, been curing, but so far I'm really digging the painted radiator support with the black radiator. The black bolts, the front end bolts, they're going to go good. Nice little detail. So moving right along. So I guess we'll bring you guys back once we start getting some molding on. What you got going on, Bobby?
Scratching the paint.
Scratching paint. Yep. It's really tedious, man. It's been like, what, at least 2 hours to put on some side molding. But we did it without scratching nothing. Your greasy hands. And this car got really wide quarter panels.
You think this was the assembly job back in the day? Somebody was putting on the door handle?
That was their job. They probably had about 10 seconds to put one on. Well, for one, it fit a lot better because it was made probably in the same building. Man, so I think what we're going to do next is probably put the mirrors on, door mirrors. That's probably it. Yeah. Looking good, looking good. We hadn't buffed these yet. So that thing is supposed to use a 3/8, but it's a 10.
10.
like the skirt clips on the 64. It's supposed to be 3/8, but it's 10. 3/8 will strip it. Ain't got a lot of space between the firewall and the motor. Moving right along. So we'll bring you guys back once we finish up for the day. All right, today's Saturday, September 24, 2022. We put some work in on the 68. Let's see, what do we do? Some odds and ends. We got the fenders wet sanded down to 3,000. We started with 1,000 on the nibs, 15, 2, and 3. So those are ready to buff, both of them. But we're waiting on Raptor, right, for the inner wheel wells.
Yep.
So we're going to Raptor the inner wheel wells color match, paint the top sides color match. So we're waiting on that. Then you got to put the trim on first. So you got to buff them, put the trim on first, then assemble the wheel well, then put it on as one unit. I think that'd be easiest.
Yes.
Dash pad is back, black. I think it looks great.
Get the public's opinion on a double din right here.
Double din. That's a big double din.
Oh, they make them.
So the dash pad is secure. We're waiting on, you got to bring center AC vent.
Yes.
Got a Dakota Digital. Do you know the part number, or is that the basic one?
It's the VTX, I think.
VTX. Dakota Digital's in. We just kind of mocked the dash pieces up just to kind of get them out the way instead of laying around getting damaged. So they're just kind of in place. We need a new glove box lock to put the glove box on. That thing was broke out the box. We were going to put the steering column on, but we need the firewall boot, so we got to order that. So we couldn't do that, unfortunately. We do have the rag joint. So we moved on to weather strip. Got door weather strip on. Roof rail weather strip and stainless. That was a lot of fun. What'd you think? Putting the roof rail stainless? It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Should have shaved them.
That's an option. When you do the roof rail stainless, you got to start in the back. You got to start in the back, and your trim is going to be aimed up way high to put it on that lip, and then roll the whole thing all the way. So I polished that. I ran them across the buffer. We got trunk weather strip on. That's why the trunk ain't closed all the way. It needs to settle a little bit. We got yeah, it's tight. Trunk weather strip looking good. Little tech tip there on the latch there. You put the seam behind the hinge.
Oh yeah.
Instead of at the latch. So little tech tip.
Yeah,
Yep. This roof rail and weather strip, door weather strip. Door's closed nice and tight now. Weather strip, I would say, it fell in place pretty good. Soft seal.
Yeah, soft seal.
And that's pretty much what we did all day. This stuff is real tedious, man. Time consuming. Like I was telling him earlier, painting a car is easy. It's just putting it together once it's painted without damaging, without scratching, without leaning on it, putting a dent on it is what takes time. So this was 8 hours of work between 3 guys today. But I think next we need to make a list of what you need to order, man. So that's a wrap for this weekend. Digging the roof. But I'm really liking the black weather strip on the yellow. It kind of just flows even better, man, with the...
Ask them about the plastic, the clear plastic on the...
Oh, yeah.
Plastic.
So the cluster, the instrument cluster, the original, which we got it over here laying in the ditch. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Had a plastic lens, and it was scratched up. So it had a lens to cover the whole piece, but it was scratched up and a little bit hazy. So we opted to not put one, and I think it looks better without one. Maybe get some feedback on that from the people watching. I don't even know if they resell that lens, but honestly,
I couldn't find it, so it's probably something hard to find or something.
I mean, you know, it's not like you're going to be scrubbing the thing, so I would just use a soft, wet, damp rag to wipe any dust off when it comes time. But so we removed the lens on that. So
Maybe tag Dakota Digital and see if they got an answer to that.
this probably is their answer.
Just take it out.
Just take it off. So yeah, we just need to make a list of little odds and ends that we need to keep moving forward. But we're moving right along. We could have had the steering column in today. We could have been steering the car, but it's just a little setback. So hope you guys enjoy this little update. We'll bring you guys back next weekend or next time we do some work.